Good afternoon. I'm Laura Miralles Payá, and I'm 32 years old, and I come from Alcoy, Alicante. First, I would like to start by thanking everyone who has made this important event possible and for giving to me the opportunity to be listened as a common variable immunodeficiency patient. When I was 28 years old, I was given the diagnosis of my illness. It was the first time I heard about it. Today, I have a monthly intravenous dose treatment that has given me life, quality of life. I realize how lucky I can feel now to have the final diagnosis. I would like to describe to you what my life has been like since I had the first symptoms. The first stage before the disease. During my childhood, I was a happy child. I grew up surrounded by my family and friends and was healthy and energetic. I was good at school and very sociable, but not especially athletic. The first time my family became very worried about my health was when I was 8 years old. I was on a trip to Paris. Brown spots suddenly invaded all my body outside and inside my mouth, my tongue, and I was sent to a hospital of the French capital. My first scare was called thrombopon purple, a disease from which I managed to get over and continue leading a normal life with routine checkups. And it was 2 years later when doctors said I was cured and I did not have to come back to the hospital. In my teens and youth times, I was a normal girl, but remember that coughing was the protagonist of my life. My parents advised me to be more careful, use warm clothes in the winter, but the truth is that I didn't do anything different from the rest of my friends, and I always got sick. During this stage, I visited the hospital several times. Herpes zoster, herpes in my throat and palate, colds that last from September to June, serious pneumonia, etc. And it was after passing on one of these when eventually a pneumologist decided to investigate. At the age of 28, I worked as an announcer at a radio station, a job that I was passionate about, but could not often do. I could not stop coughing while I was speaking on the radio program where I worked. I made real efforts to hide my cough, a very distressing feeling. Besides, this job required me to be very active touring in Madrid all the day to attend press conferences and events. However, I could feel I was getting weaker and weaker and feeling more tired. A big pneumonia got me 5 weeks in bed. Afterwards, I made a great effort to get out of my house and lead a normal life. I can remember that walking along Miralles Street in Madrid, which is only 1.5 kilometers one side to the other one, took me a long time and needed to stop several times to have a rest and breath in the middle of the street. I felt like an old lady. But then, the miracle arrived. The pneumologist who had treated me the last pneumonia began to suspect and led me to a hematologist who came up with the disease. I remember her words, "I've never seen such results in my life. I can't believe you're leading a normal life and you are able to work with such analytics results." Then she derived me to the immunology unit, and after several bureaucratic processes, I met my doctor, the immunologist Silvia Sánchez Ramón from Clínico San Carlos Hospital in Madrid. After the diagnosis, my life in the hospital began. They were 2 difficult years in which I had to leave my job and set about improving my health. The disease had caused me some aftermath, and I had to visit several doctors. All of this. An ant doctor, because I had chronic sinusitis, I had lost my sense of smells for years, a gynecologist, a pneumologist, because one of my lungs is affected by the last pneumonia, an hematologist, a respiratory physiotherapy, okay, and ophthalmologist and dentist for eyes and mouth infections, and of course, immunologist. All these visits to doctors in addition to a monthly dose of gamma globulin in the hospital. Nowadays, my health is stable. I receive my regular intravenous treatment. The hospital has not yet decided to administer the subcutaneous treatment, but I have a great quality of life. I found my own communications agency shortly after being diagnosed. And also I started to work in another communication agency with startups and entrepreneurs. I also started doing sports and enjoying physical activities. I travel, taking no risk, and enjoying every single little thing life offers. I have just married and hope to start a family. Well, my life can probably show how important adult diagnosis is and how life changed to a patient who is diagnosed. I feel now very lucky to know the name of my illness and to see I have a treatment that allows me to lead a normal life. No one expects to go to a doctor and know that their disease has not cured. No one wants to be a chronic patient, but in my case, it's being compensated. 5 hours a month in a hospital is not so hard compared to a month lying in bed feeling very sick. I would like to thank the immunology team at the Clínico San Carlos, muchas gracias, for their professionalism and for their human quality, for always knowing what the best for me is and for responding every time I need them. Thanks also to AEDIP, the Spanish Association about Primary Immunodeficiency, for supporting all patients, fighting for an early diagnosis and giving information of the disease in Spain. And I also want to say thank you to my husband, Jose, and all my family for giving me all the support I needed to overcome all the difficult moments I had. Before I finish, I'd like to show you something. Ta-da! Every time when I finish a gamma globulin session, I take a picture like this outside the hospital, and I send to my relatives by WhatsApp attaching the following phrase: I'm free. Free and full of energy to live and enjoy life. Thank you very much.